is Radio. I'm Clive Klumpkin, and across from me, as always, is
Johnny Swings a Lot.
Swings a Lot. Just kidding. Is this what you want with, what's my name? What is my name?
Clive, you said.
Matt O'Brien.
Oh.
It's me, Matt O'Brien, and across from me is my wife.
Julia Ladkowitz. Did you guys really think that we were Clive and Johnny when we started? And you're like, oh no, I've downloaded the jazz podcast again.
No jazz hosts are going to be called Clive and Johnny. They're always just like a Spen or a Daniel.
Or like a Rick.
Benjamin.
There's a lot of Ricks out there.
Yeah. Rick Trumpetman. Hi, Shange. Can you... No.
Oh,
She's getting upset at all this jazz talk. Okay. We're back from dog going crazy at FedEx Man.
The FedEx man dropped off a package for me, so that's my fault, I guess.
Why can't dogs just it's what a hack thing to do. Get angry at a delivery guy.
I know, it's like get a new bit.
Get a new bit. Also, why are you getting so angry at him? It's not like he's hanging out and coming in our house and eating our fucking Triscuits or anything.
And
it's
that's the thing. I do appreciate, I don't mind a dog barking and being like, all right, I'm letting you know that there's someone here.
We love the guard.
But once we identify it and we're like, no, stop, not a murderer.
Yeah.
That's, you know what? It's our fault. We have failed as dog trainers.
But
But
we're
also,
getting there.
She's so fucking fucked up, man. She's down on the streets, guy.
That's the best part about having a rescue dog is you have an excuse. You're like, oh, she's a rescue.
Well, I keep seeing reels and people are like, oh, my favorite thing to do is when my dog acts up is be like, oh, she's a rescue. I just got her when I got her as a puppy from a breeder and it's entirely my fault.
Yeah.
But at least like our dog is clearly, she is a rescue.
So are we to understand that if you get a dog from a breeder, a puppy, it's just an empty vessel ready to be molded?
Uh-huh.
With no personality?
Well, here's the thing. Like humans, it's the whole nature versus nurture thing. It's like some humans, no matter what, are going to have a little something, a little extra spice.
What were those granola bars growing up? I think they're only Canadian. Nutri-Grain bars?
A Nutri-Grain.
Boh. Those make me sick. They're like... They definitely don't have them down here in America, but they're like a Fig Newton bar.
Yeah, they were like
almost
filled, and they were so dry.
Yeah,
and so like sweet, but bad.
Yeah, sweet and bad. Somehow they've sweetened something in to make it taste bad. I used to eat those hungover in college all the time, and that's maybe
the worst thing you can eat hungover.
Yeah, because I was just like, I need breakfast, I need food, because I would never be a late night eater when I was drinking in college.
Oh my God, that was my jam.
Because we didn't really have anything around in walking distance. Sometimes we go to 7-Eleven, but there was no like restaurants around our fucking stupid neighborhood.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, in college, I was like young as hell in college. And we would go to the 7-Eleven all the time. And the amount of taquitos I ate is actually repulsive.
If they had DoorDash and Uber Eats while we were in college, we'd be different people. We'd look different. Our skin would be a different shade. We'd have hairs growing out of different...
gills.
We would have gills. I wouldn't be able to... Yeah, because like coming home from the bar, being like, oh, there's no restaurants around. I just won't eat. I'll just have chips or something.
Well, I remember coming home from the bar when I was dating my ex, and his friend was there, and he slept on the couch. And we were all pretty drunk. And yeah, there was... Even though we were living in Toronto, I was like, I think the pizza was closed or whatever. So I'm like, all right, well, I made scrambled eggs with Parmesan. And everybody's like, these are the best fucking eggs I've ever had. I'm like, yeah, because we're hammered.
Night eggs?
We had night eggs.
It's like what they did in medieval times. We'll crack some eggs in celebration of the harvest after we drink our ale. Are you crazy? I've never heard that in my life.
I made scrambled eggs and everybody was so happy.
Like, did you have toast with it at least?
I don't remember.
Ugh. No. And then you wake up in the middle of the night, you're like, my mouth tastes like egg.
I brushed my teeth and I felt great. I had some protein before bed.
It's probably a good thing to have before
Honestly,
bed, actually.
It's a good thing.
It's what Rocky did.
Why did everybody decide that eggs are a morning thing?
I don't know. It's
like nowhere else in the world, really. It's just the US of A and Canada. They're like, eggs for breakfast.
Yeah, that's true. You go to like anywhere in Asia and like
they're having a fucking soup or something.
And they're having egg on rice and throwing an egg on. They're putting egg in everything.
You put egg wherever you want. Egg is anytime egg.
I will say I am strict with my banana intake in that it needs to happen before noon.
You are an ape. You're a full monkey. You're a little chimpanzee.
Yes. I'm King Kong's shittier younger brother. Ben Kong. The smaller guy that just eats bananas, but has ape-like qualities. I would say I have ape-like qualities.
I would say that too.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like squatting and then I get up and I scratch the top of my head and I'm like, I am an ape.
You're a full ape. Also, you're kind of like barrel chested like an ape.
Yeah. Barrel chested. I've been called barrel chested my whole life.
Well,
what is that? So it's just like I'm just not flat. I'm a bit round.
But it's not that you're like. It's not like you're fat or anything. You're barrel chested. You're like an old timey like boxer or something.
Someone compared me. Remember when the first Daniel Craig James Bond came out, the Casino Royale?
Yeah.
He comes out of the water and he's very barrel chested.
Yeah.
And someone was like, that kind of looks like your body. And I was like, that's the nicest
thing anyone's ever
said to me.
Also, when we started dating, and this is when Diana Love hated you because you and her ex didn't get along, which, bodes well for you now. But she's like, no, you can't date Matt O'Brien. No, he doesn't like my boyfriend. And his body's like the Grinch.
I was Grinch-like.
You were Grinch-like because you were kind of like... You were like skinny, but like had
skinny fat.
You're skinny fat. And
Grinch is skinny fat, and
you had these gangly arms and this like Grinch torso.
I don't know how people. I was thinking about that because I'm like, I gain weight just in the middle and under the chin, and that's where my weight, the arms and legs. Like when you become like a fat guy, how are you getting fat legs and arm? Like I just.
People gain weight in different places. Like for me, it goes to my arms, it goes to my legs, it goes to my ass.
Sometimes you see a bulky guy, but it's spread out, and you're like, okay, it's just a big bulky guy.
You're just a big boy.
But you see me, and you're like, well, that guy looks like a Christmas cartoon character.
Where did we see that big? I think we were at the Comedy Store, and this guy came in. I'm like, that's a big boy. Like he wasn't fat. He was just like
big.
All of him was just like. Blown up.
That's how you know we're still cave people, because when anyone sees a big guy, we all go, that's a big boy.
Yeah, we're like, that's a big boy.
Look at that big boy.
Also, he was wearing sweat shorts.
Yeah.
Sweat shorts. Shorts to show your knees at night at a place like the Comedy Store is weird. But
what are you, a geisha?
And sweat a geisha.
I don't know. You have rules about. I agree with the short thing, but showing your knees at night is a funny way to put it.
Men showing their knees at night, unless it's the hottest, unless you're in some tropical place and it's like that's the norm. But like the Comedy Store, I don't know. It's like this weird vampire den.
Yeah,
the knees shouldn't be out there.
Yeah, it's dark.
No knees at the Comedy Store.
There's a bunch of red neon lights. It looks like your knees are in the red light district in Amsterdam.
Honestly, and then you're just walking in with your big boy body and your
$5 to lick the kneecap. Let me.
Also, you were talking about sweatpants in public, and the penis nub. It's always a penis nub.
Yeah, it's always. I can't.
Sweatpants on a man is always like a push-up bra on a woman. Like, I'm gonna look.
Unless you have a dangly penis. Unless you hang low and it wobbles to and fro. And you tie it in a knot and you tie it in a bow. But no, mine retracts into like a compact, when my balls and dick are traveling, it contracts and is like, we are no longer in use.
It's like a tank. You know when like the gun comes in, it goes, and then like when it goes out, it goes.
Yeah, you could say an antenna or something, but it's nice to know that I'm walking around with a tank between my legs. That's what they call me. Old penis tank.
Well, we were going to bed, and I just honked Matt's penis, as you do, just to be like, hello, I acknowledge it.
And then I went, thank you. And then we both fell asleep.
But we all know that Matt's balls are big, and we've talked about his big balls quite a bit.
Well, you're also, lately, a hot bit on stage for you is my tiny mouth. That's really popping off these days.
Well, tiny mouth, and then I do big balls, tiny mouth. Anyway, so honked your penis as I do, but your balls felt smaller. So I'm like, oh, I'm like tiny. And then I rolled over and went to bed and you're like, thanks for that. I was like, what? And you're like, you just honked my penis, said tiny, and then rolled over. I'm like,
tiny.
No, I was talking about your balls. Like for once they felt small.
For once. Should I get a ball reduction? Shave them down a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like those guys on Instagram or TikTok where they're shaving those watermelons.
Oh, yeah.
Like rapid fire with a knife.
Here's a question. Because I know that people, like, I could get fat removed from part of my body and add it to, like, another part of my body.
You want to get fat removed from your body and inject it into my balls.
No, but what if we take your
Some
ball
of my
skin
balls and put them in your boobs?
Ew, and then I just have your balls on my tits?
Ew. I don't think science is there yet, and I hope we don't get there anytime soon.
Imagine women had
testicles
as breasts.
Yeah.
That's basically what they are.
Well, not really.
Also, so the Matt's tiny mouth joke, or my tiny mouth joke about Matt's tiny mouth, is popping off on Instagram a little bit, and I also talk about his big balls. And then one of the comments is like, you never see male comedians talking about their wife's pussy, so why is this okay? I'm like, first of all, you do. Second of all, the pussy's one thing. A dick and balls, it's two things. If women had balls.
Here we go.
Talk about my balls.
Yeah.
Like, they're weird.
Sure.
I'm not like, my husband's loser penis is so stupid and I hate it. Like,
yeah.
No, I'm talking about the balls. The balls don't do the balls don't really affect you in a way that like, oh, I'm, it's not like I'm talking about your micro penis.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a micro penis.
Okay, wow. Sounds like something someone would say if they had one. No, I promise you I don't. Not that there's anything wrong with having one. Either way.
Listen.
Jokes about my body are really popping off for you, and I'm very excited. Imagine I got offended by... I was like sitting in the back of your show last night, and I was just like, you were going off about me, and I'm like, imagine I was like back here like, oh, damn it. Oh, shit. Damn this woman.
Because I also like... I'm like, he's so handsome. He's like, it's also it's a joke. Like, yeah, you have a tiny mouth. It's not quite a cat's asshole, but it's funny.
It's close. I've called it a cat's asshole, so it's fine.
Yeah, we're
I'm
fine.
fine with it.
And you know what else is fine? Chappy hour.
Yeah, I guess this counts as a chappy hour, the only dedicated happy hour dedicated to the worst robot movie of all time. And this is a morning. Did we mention this is a morning podcast?
Yeah, it's a morning podcast.
Yeah, we didn't.
I feel like the listeners can usually tell because we're all like,
and more a little bit sleepy, a little bit more edgy. Not edgy, but
alert.
I don't know. We're drinking
Sleepy
coffee from Costco, of course.
Same as last time. We did a coffee cast last week as well.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Do you think on the morning shows, like on Regis and Kelly and stuff, they were actually drinking coffee the whole time? Because that's a lot of coffee to drink for... Also, I don't remember how long those shows were. I remember being a kid. And
they felt like they'd go on for like 6 hours.
It'd be like 6 hours. Yeah, it'd be like Regis is like sweating and just like, another guest, Gelman.
I bet they had sometimes tea, sometimes maybe a bit of a brown liquor.
Probably water. I mean, there was a rumor that Kathy Lee liked to indulge in the white wine. Her and Hoda like to fucking go for it.
After a while, once you've been on these shows for like years and years and years, and you're like, you know what? Let's fucking spice it up.
I'd get ripped up. Yeah, if I was on there for like 15 years, I'd be like, this mornings we're doing a
But also
one.
in the mornings, but also I guess you can't, it's not like you're going out at night. You don't really have much of a social like nightlife because you have to, it's like, oh, I'm waking up at 3 a.m. and going into hair and makeup.
Yeah. It's like anyone that works at morning radio too. You're like, it's just your whole life. Your whole life is just going to bed at 6
p.m. At least morning radio, you don't have to like get all zhuzhed
You
up.
do now. Our friend Darren Jones is a host on Virgin Radio, and they post clips online. So it's like podcast clips.
Ugh.
So you have to look like you can't be like a scumbag.
I mean, if you're
DJ
a man,
anymore.
you can look like a scumbag, and if you're a woman, they're like, "What happened to her?
Yeah, I guess
She's disgusting. Kill her."
I don't know. It's funny that radio is still going. It's still out there. People still listen to it.
I still listen. I listen to the radio in the car all the time.
I like it. It feels old school. It feels like, and then also I'm like listening to my community. Sometimes
I'm listening
they
to my
mention
community.
something.
I'm getting little news stories.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the whole scorpion on the penis bite.
That's what you heard on the news?
That's what I heard on the radio, the talk show hosts,
Yeah.
radio hosts. They're like, oh, in Vegas, I got bit on the penis by a scorpion. And then I literally called you in the car, hands-free, don't worry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have to tell somebody.
Well, that was like that one morning I went out to get breakfast burritos. Oh, God, should we get breakfast burritos after this?
No.
Okay.
I can make us some, though.
Oh, my God. And then I was listening to the radio, and all the hosts were wearing diapers. And they were like, first one to pee their diaper wins. And they were all like, I can't. I'm like, you know what? Morning radio is just fine.
It's A-O-K.
They're doing just fine. And you could tell because you could hear the crinkling of the diapers in the background. So you knew that it was truthful.
I mean, they could just literally be crinkling paper and be
I
like,
know.
ooh, my diaper.
Could be doing anything, but you hope there's not enough Foley budget for that. Oh, my God. Julia just farted.
It's a morning podcast.
It's the morning. That's the thing. The older I get in the morning, like my body has to go through a series of events before I can get any kind of started. Like I used to just pop out of bed in my early 20s and be like, I'm up. And I was just up. And now it's like, I got to blow my nose 7 times. First, I had a huge sneezing fit in the kitchen.
You did. You woke up and you're like, it's a beautiful morning. And then you sneezed 17 times.
Yes. I opened the curtains. Maybe there was a bit of dust and just big sneeze. And then I'm like, I have to blow my nose. I have to use the toilet 7 times. There's a lot that has to happen before I become me.
It's pretty exciting, and
Yeah.
I'm sure the listeners love to hear it.
That's my morning routine, listeners. Why don't you send us yours? Is this what you want podcast?
It's almost as if
at jizz.com.
your morning routine makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
I guess. That's a terrible segue, but
I thought it was
I don't know if it makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Pretty
It makes me
good.
feel more like,
stupid.
no.
Well, that
just
was
like-
stupid?
just
Was
like,
it stupid?
It's kind of stupid.
Well, I think it's time for our first segment. Well, that was stupid.
Well, that was stupid.
I do have a good stupid thing that happened this week.
Good.
Should I talk about it?
Yeah, of course. That's what the segment's for.
The segment is where we talk about something dumb that happened this week because, sometimes you got to recognize the dumb. And every week we all have something dumb that happened to us. I think we can all
Every
look
week
back.
there's like a major dumb thing. There's dumb things that happen every day that you kind of clock, but sometimes you don't. And you just move on with your day. But there's usually there's one dumb thing that usually stands out, and you're like,
Yeah.
let's acknowledge it so we can move on.
I'm glad that the Trump trial was not a dumb thing. That I was surprised that was like
All
guilty.
guilty.
I was because the world is so stupid. I'm like, he's gonna get off with it. It's gonna be fun. I mean, he could still, but it's just like wild news.
It's just, I feel like this kind of stuff has happened before, and we're all like, yeah, we got him. And then he continues. He's like a cockroach. He continues no matter what.
Well, that's like when he got COVID. Everyone's like, haha, you got it. And he's like, I'm fine. We're like, damn it.
Yeah.
That was our one chance.
Listen, I don't know.
I'll tell you what's stupid this week. So I don't remember when you sent this to me, but there was this like dad on Reels that.
Oh, yeah. Like a few weeks ago, I don't know why this popped up in my algorithm, but it was like, I'm a dad and I'm telling my daughter things she didn't know about her car.
And he was like making fun of her because he's like, when's the last time you changed your cabin air filter? And she never had. And he was like losing his mind. And then he like looked and it was like disgusting. And I was like, cabin air filter, you say?
Yeah, that's why I sent it to you. I was like, I've never heard of this in my life.
Never heard of that. And I'm like, I don't even know if our car has one because every time I go to get the oil changed, I get the engine air filter changed.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, listener, if you're going to Jiffy Lube, I think they charge like $50, and the actual filters are like $10, and you can do them yourself. I'm no longer ever getting them to do it ever again.
Yeah.
It's such a huge ripoff, which we probably all knew, but I'm stupid. So I check our car. I'm like, it's probably the same filter because it's the engine air filter. It's the car. It's the whole thing. Different filter. So the way this filter is located is in the video is it's in your glove compartment. Apparently you can just take that whole fucking thing out.
Which I never knew.
When would you ever try that?
Yeah, let me just try to remove the entire glove compartment.
Yeah. So, and it's easy and it happens. And I did it and it happened so easily. I'm like, oh my God. And then I see where the cabin air filter is. And I open the little hatch. It was crazy. I've never seen a filter so filtered. It had so much shit in it.
Oh,
It was rock solid.
Like the filter itself was disgusting. And then the stuff that didn't fully go into the filter was like, you showed it to me. It looked like a bird's nest, and not like a tiny bird, like a giant bird, like all this shit in there.
It was like a full wig. I was reaching in, grabbing it, and I'm like, oh, there's an animal in here. Like it's going to bite me or something. Because there was like little pieces of like nut shells. So it's possible something was living in there at one time and lived a beautiful life and then grew old and died somewhere. That's how long this filter has not been replaced.
Yeah.
So I dug out all that shit. I'm like, oh my God, this feels crazy.
Well, here's the thing. The car's a 2014 Prius. So imagine maybe the previous owners never did it.
It's possible.
And then so it's just 10 years of shit in there.
It's
and
crazy.
You're supposed to change it every 15,000 kilometers or something?
Yeah, and we've driven back and forth to Canada.
Multiple times
and never even thought about it. Because there's been some times where we've been in the car being like, oh, it smells weird. It's like mildewy or like...
And I'm like, oh, just because we haven't run the air conditioner in a while or something. That's what I thought.
Anyway, we can also talk about our mild sponsor. I mean, I microdosed mushrooms that one day. And
Cubic.
Sometimes it really gets me on a tear of like productivity.
Yeah.
People are like, I get more productive. And I'm like, I need to fix everything. Mm-hmm. And so you were like, I took it out. And you're like, yeah, you can just order another one. I was like, I need to fix this right now. Went to like O'Reilly's Auto Parts, grabbed the right one, cleaned it all out, put it back in. Our car does like smell better now.
It does.
It's wouldn't you know it? Turns out an air filter does something.
It's so satisfying getting. That's why, like with vacuuming, it's like your joke about vacuuming when you suck up something big under the couch and you're like, yeah. It's so satisfying getting gunk out of something. That's why people like pimple popping videos or whatever. Oh, yeah. It's just like, get the gunk out of there.
But then I cleaned the rest of the car. I like vacuumed it. I washed the car. I was like,
car looks great.
Car's great.
I literally pet the car on the head the other day. I came home and I was like, hello, you're looking nice.
Good little fella. So that's the lesson, dear listener, is I looked up regular maintenance for a car. I thought I knew what I was doing, but there are a few things on there. Oh, the coolant is another one I got to check. I never check the coolant.
Yeah, you got to.
Ooh, I can't wait to check it after the podcast.
Ooh.
I love maintaining. I love maintenance.
Maintain this right here. I'm pointing at the Jonas brother.
Oh, no. Wait, name one Jonas brother. Greg?
Nick. Nick is one.
Nick is one.
Nick, Joe Jonas, and the other one.
Joe Jonas is? Oh, yeah. And then the other one, the
old one.
Frumpy looking one.
Let's call him Isaac because Isaac was the one from Hanson, the old one.
Isaac Jonas?
No, Isaac Hanson.
Isaac Jonas. Hello, I'm Isaac Jonas. I am the oldest one.
The oldest one always gets the fucking shit end of the stick.
Who was the old Backstreet Boy? Joey Fat one.
No.
Joey Fatone.
Joey Fatone it was Howie.
Howie was the oldest one? That makes sense.
Yeah.
He looks like a cab driver. He looks like the cab driver that drove the Backstreet Boys to their audition.
That's who you dressed up as for Halloween.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. And he was like, oh, you guys auditioned for a boy band in there. I come too.
Fine.
And they're like, okay, this is Howie. I think he can sing. Anyway, what stupid thing happened to you this week? So that's, listener, to follow up, check your cabin air filter.
It's stupid, but also like, see, we're learning from it. And you think that I would learn from my stupid things, but I don't know if I'm quite ready to learn from it. So, as you all know, I got a mini trampoline. And
we've all been talking about it. It's been on the news.
It's on the front page of every major news site.
LA Times is going crazy.
So, I got my mini tramp, and like a month ago, I was like, oh, I tramped too hard and too aggressively. And
tramped too hard.
And then like my pelvis hurt. And I was like, oh my God, it hurts so much. And I'm like, okay, I tramped too hard. So then now I've been tramping on and off, but I literally like, I'll either do my own thing and be pretty gentle with it. And then I've also been watching there's this woman on YouTube and her workouts are always like, I think she's Australian or something. And she's so gentle. And she's like, these are some workouts and it's for women 50 plus. And I've been watching these workouts for women 50 plus and they're great workouts. I love them because they're not too, the whole reason I got this trampoline was for lesser impact, right?
Yes.
Low impact exercises, cardio. Because I'm like, I want to be fit, but I don't want to get hurt. So I've been doing it. And then I've kind of noticed, I'm like, my ankles hurt a little bit. And so I started wearing shoes on the trampoline. And then after a while, I was like, oh, I'm just feeling a little bit in my ankle, but nothing serious. Then I went on a hike, and then the next day we were walking the dog, and I was like, something feels just a little bit weird in my foot and my ankle. And as soon as we got home, I took a step, and then you know when something just like clicks in your foot and your ankle, I'm like, ah! It shot up, and I'm like, I cannot walk. Like I couldn't put any pressure on it at all. Like and it was just like, okay, this is all from a fucking mini trampoline. And maybe something else happened on the hike. And I'm like, I'm trying to better myself. And now I can't walk. And I couldn't really properly walk for like 2.5 days, to the point where I was like, do I have to get an x-ray? Do I have to get this fucking... and it still hurts, but I can at least put pressure on it now.
The feet are a complex mechanism.
Yeah.
As we all know. The more you like look into, you're like, oh, I got a weird foot problem. And you like look at like a diagram of a foot. You're like, oh, why is there like 800 bones and they're just kind of floating around?
Their bones and their ligaments, and
ligaments
also and if you strain something versus you sprain it versus you tear it versus you break it, it's like, and so many times for the foot, they're like, just keep off of it, and that's all you can do. So I guess it's stupid that I keep going back to the tramp. But then part of me is, I think I just need to do exercises to build up the strength in my feet and ankles.
Just walk on your hands for a bit.
Before just start tramping on my hands.
Just just full handstand tramping. No, my hands hurt.
But literally, I was so mad. I was already kind of sad, and because, you know, being mobile really affects your mental health. And I was... At least I'm like, I like to walk. I'm like, I couldn't go outside. I couldn't do anything. And I was just sitting on the couch. I'm like, the little tramp fucked me.
We as humans should be able to switch from hands to feet if our feet hurt.
We should.
You know, it's like the feet are, with gravity, pushing down on these puppies all the time, 24/7. We're strutting around. If your feet start to get all fucked up, you should be able to like switch to hands, no problem.
Right.
And then you're just like, you see someone walking on their hands out, and they're just like, man, their feet hurt.
But then also my arms would be so much more toned if I could just always walk on. Oh, God.
Then they got to invent shoes for hands, because you don't want to be touching ground.
Gloves?
Yeah, but no, they got to be like shoes. That's just it would. Oh, what a disgusting society that would be.
Ew. Yeah, and then we're all shaking feet instead of hands.
I mean, the people with sore feet. No, they'd be like, don't touch my feet. They're sore. That's why I'm doing this. Rub my genitals. Rub my crotch.
Rub my crotch. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, should I get rid of the mini tramp? Should I sell it, or should I give
I'm telling
it
you,
another chance?
it's Krusty's trampoline.
It really
it's the
is.
episode of The Simpsons where Krusty tries to get rid of that trampoline for free. Trolleybampoline, that you're Homer. You should rent it out to the neighborhood kids like he does on the show. $5 a jump.
And then they're all just writhing around our lawn.
Yeah,
they're
just
all...
with their ankles broken.
It sucks. It sucks.
Just until you make the money back. How much was the mini tramp?
Like $50-$60 or something.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Ugh.
I love this thing though. When I'm on it, I'm having a great time.
Let's try to get Shange to tramp on it. It's a regular sized tramp for her.
Yeah.
Oh, a chihuahua jumping on a trampoline.
So
Just
she's not heavy enough to
flipping
fucking
around.
make
No.
it bounce though.
We'll fatten her up.
We got to put some like weights in her pockets.
Next time we go to the vet. Why is your dog so fat? We're trying to get her good at the trampoline.
We're trying to get a good bounce on our mini tramp.
We want a good mini tramp dog, and she ain't it, sis. Not yet.
Can we pause for one moment?
Why? Julia's officially back from the toilet.
This happened last week.
Yeah.
We podcast right in the middle of toilet time.
That's why you can't. Podcasting in the morning is a real roll of the dice, because we're both in and out of that bathroom multiple times. That's what I mean about a morning routine. It's like, I got to blow my nose. I got to go to the bathroom 9 times, and then my day starts at 12:45 after I've gone to the bathroom 100 times. It's like when I have like an audition in the morning and I have to be there at like 10, I'm like, I'm going to piss 5 times. 1 on the way there, 3 at the audition.
It's always, or early morning flights. It's like, because I'm like, I can't crank out a shit at 5 a.m. And then I'm like, okay, so it's going to be me like either I'm in the security line or I'm like you're dropping me off at the airport. And I'm like, oh my God. It's great.
I thought I had a problem. I was like, maybe I have a medical thing because I piss so much. And then I looked up. They're like, well, how much water do you drink? I'm like, I drink like pints and pints of water in the morning.
You do, but I also drink pints and pints. And you got to train your dick.
No. I think everyone's dicks and bladders and everything are bad because of the pandemic. That's what people said, because we were so close to toilets for so long.
That's what I'm saying. So you have to like train it. So
it's hard because I like to get the piss out.
I know.
Sometimes, do you ever do this when you're hungover and then you're like taking a big piss in the morning and you're in your head, you go, here, get the poison out. Time to get the poison out.
Well, I remember people back in the day when we'd like underage drink, people would like hold in their pee because they're like, then I'll be less, I want to be drunker and I don't want to pee out the, and I'm like, that doesn't
make any sense. You're just going to piss the bed. That's how that happens.
Well, like late at night, but when they'd be at the bar, they're like, I don't want to pee.
Ew.
A, they didn't want to break the seal, but B, they're like, then I'll be less drunk. I'm like, oh.
And they're dancing around, grinding with someone full of piss. You're basically a bunch of bags of piss grinding in the dark.
The amount of grinding that used to happen when we would go underage to Cosmos in fucking Quebec. Oh my God. We'd be like 15, 16 grinding with clearly these like 20-some-year-old Quebecois men. I remember one of my friends got fingered on the dance floor.
All right.
And she's like, great. I'm like, you, because like I would make out with everybody. I'm like, you got fingered? She's like, yeah. No kissing.
Yeah.
She's like, no kissing. I'd rather this. I'm like, who are you, fucking Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman? Pretty Woman.
I don't think that happened in that movie.
No, but she was like, no kissing. It's too intimate.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I was like, I don't remember that scene. Richard Gere's just grinding with her at a nightclub, and you're like, I thought he was rich.
Grinding. Oh, God.
I don't want to ever picture Richard Gere grinding.
No. Richard grinds my gear is more like.
Did he actually put a gerbil up his ass? That's it sucks that that's the one thing I think about with Richard Gere is like he put a gerbil up his ass because it felt good.
Rumors are so stupid, but perhaps it's true.
That one and the Marilyn Manson rib one came out. They dropped almost at the same time.
The Marilyn Manson rib one literally took over high schools and just schools all over America, all of the Americas.
It was old school viral. It was only existed in schoolyards.
Yeah.
And it was like, Marilyn Manson removed one of his ribs so he could suck his own dick easier. And every school, nationwide. I don't know how they did it. It was probably some government test to be like, how can we get information out there without using technology? And we'll try it on the kids. And it was that. The prime minister came up with Marilyn Manson removed his own rib to suck his own dick. And they're like, pass it on.
Remember when Marilyn Manson was like, literally, he was like the man terrorizing society, according to everybody. And apparently he is quite a bad man.
Actual piece of shit.
Terrible.
If the shoe fits and it's a giant army boot, that's how it goes. I'll tell you what is better than Marilyn Manson.
See, segues are hard.
They are hard.
Now you appreciate mine that are actually quite good.
But you know what's opposite of hard? Something soft. Something that can make you feel nice. See, that's good.
Yeah. Warm and fuzzy.
This is where we talk about something nice that happened this week, and let's get it going because I wanna relax for a bit because I got a musical today.
It's got a little musical.
Oh, I've got the musical theatre. I've got a bit of the
and I have to fucking
bug.
drive your ass there. God damn.
Right. Yeah, I guess you could say that's making me feel kind of warm and fuzzy. It is our last Fast and Furious musical in town for a bit. Mm-hmm. And it's sold out again. 16th time we've sold out.
Holy shit.
Isn't that exciting?
16 times you've done this.
Yeah. I do love it. It's great. And it makes me feel nice. I do like performing in different areas of entertainment, which is the warm and fuzzy that I'm going to talk about is this past weekend. I think I mentioned last week that I was taking a clown class.
Yes, Matt was a little clown.
I'm a clown. It's modern clown. So listener, I know, because I've told some like non-entertainment people, I'm like, oh, I took a clown class. And they're like, honka, honka? Like, is that weird? I'm like, no, it's not like red nose, cartwheeling around, shoving pizza into people's faces.
I mean, that sounds all right.
I would do that. No, it's like a modern clown class. It was at UCB, and it was only 2 days, but it was very fulfilling. It was nice. I was a nice alternative because I used to think that in comedy, it's like you either do stand up or improv or sketch. It was like those three. You're like pick one.
Yeah.
And now there's this clown thing, which is kind of improv, kind of sketch, but it's like
a less talking improv.
more doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just committing. So that's
showing.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is it is not being afraid to fail and also committing. And there was a lot of what I learned that I absolutely can apply. Shanj, come over here. Can apply to stand up. And it was just very nice. It wasn't expensive either. I mean, it was worth it. And I met some nice people. And I wasn't the oldest one in the class, so that was nice.
I know it's weird now going to classes. Like when I was taking my improv classes, I'm like, am I gonna be this old bitch? And then there was a guy who was like literally like in his 60s. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's the nicest part about going to these classes. Also, the craziest thing, this is the last thing I'll say about it, but we're going around the class and one of the exercises was like blow our minds or something, like how to really sell yourself. And one guy goes up there and he talks about how he invented planking.
Yeah.
And we're all like,
not planking, not like the
not the
ab
exercise,
plank.
but the like viral face down thing.
Yeah, like laying on a friggin' table or something.
And we're like, at first we're like, okay, buddy, okay, anyone can just say that. And then he's like, look up my name, and I did it like in real time. I'm like, oh my god.
And
this guy did it.
What year? Wasn't it like 2008 or 4? Or?
It was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
It's called face dancing originally. But yeah, you look this guy up and well, I took a clown class with the guy that invented planking. So that's
pretty crazy.
Which is funny. And I was thinking about my experiences in Los Angeles. I'm like, that's just another one of those, this is why you move here. Because you're like, dumb little shit like that.
Yeah.
And all the little like TV stuff we've done, and people we've met, it's like it's fun. It's done.
Everybody's something. Everybody has a little claim to fame.
Everyone's got a thing. What's your thing?
Well, I'm glad that I'm proud of.
Oh boy, choking on her compliments.
I'm trying to compliment you, and my body's like, "Don't do it." I'm proud of you for putting yourself out there, because I feel like I've been taking a lot of classes and stuff, and you're like, ah! And then now you finally did, and and I kept being like, my husband's at a clown class, my little clown.
Yep.
So you were at your clown class. Meanwhile, I have gone super mode on planning this trip to Europe, and it is warm and fuzzy, but it's also kind of concerning because I'm like a dog with a bone. If I get laser focused on something, and I guess that's the ADHD, if it's something that I kind of like enjoy and I'm like, this is interesting to me, I'm like, I can do it for hours. It's the same reason I can like binge watch a TV show and you're like, do you want to watch something else? I'm like, I can literally sit and watch like 12 hours of something. So I started on this Europe journey being like, let me just kind of look at some Airbnbs in Paris and let me just kind of figure out our route. And then next thing you know, literally like and especially once I hurt my foot and I was like bedridden, I researched this fucking trip like a psychopath. And it was kind of fun. Actually, it's very fun, but also driving me crazy. And it's very warm and fuzzy. So this comic, April Macy, who's very funny and lovely, and she has traveled all throughout Europe because she's performed in Europe a lot. She has a place in Italy, and she's like, oh my gosh, if you need help with anything, let me know. So she's literally, I've been asking so many questions and has been so helpful, just responding immediately. Also, she's letting us stay at her place in Italy. She's like, you can stay as long as you want. We're just staying for 2 nights because there's so much to do. There's so much to do in all these places. Yeah, but it was really sweet of her. And then I typed up a whole itinerary because I'm crazy.
You went full Howard Hughes with this Europe trip. I left to go to the dentist and you were kind of working on it. And I came back and you hadn't moved. I expected like bags of piss to be beside you and just like your fingernails like 10 feet long.
I was literally like, there would be sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm just holding in pee. Like I've been on this couch to the point where I was like, oh, I have like bed sores. But then I would stand up and my foot would hurt. So then I would go back. The amount of research and Airbnbs and this place and whatever and trying to find out like the right route. And as much as you're like, oh, it's in September, it's so far away. A lot of these places are booked up already. And it's like, you kind of do have to have a plan.
And this is what happened with the Thailand trip. And it's hard because you're basically like a 3D printer. So when you 3D print something, you just kind of, it's off to the side. You got to wait till it's done. And then you can get to work with the product that the 3D printer has done.
Wait, I don't get it.
You were the 3D printer.
I'm the 3D
So you're
printer.
nonstop working on this thing,
Right.
3D printing the thing, and it can't be disturbed until it's done.
Right.
And when it is done, then you have your final thing that's printed.
Yes.
And you can work with it.
Exactly. Because
So
I'm like,
that's what you are. You're a 3D printer.
because I'm like, I need to have some stuff in place. And of course, all these things that I booked, they're refundable and stuff. So I can tweak it, but I'm like, I need to have a bit of a plan. Like that's very much, I'm always like, I need, as much as I like to go with the flow in some situations, it's not like I'm like, okay, at 10 a.m. we are having lunch here. It's like, no, I like to have parameters, and then once those parameters are set, then I can have fun like in between, and explore and whatever. But it just takes some of the stress away. And then I typed up this itinerary, and then I messaged April. I'm like, I did a full itinerary. Do you want to see it? She's like, yes, I do. And she's like, I love this shit. So I just sent that to her this morning, and then I just quickly looked at my phone, and I have all these texts from her. So it's really nice. So shout out to April Macy, very funny comedian.
Shout out.
She's also in Vegas right now and opening for like one of the new like Cirque shows.
I would love to do that.
It was so cool. She has like a 1-month residency there, and she's hoping to continue. So it's just very warm and fuzzy.
Life.
This whole trip is making me warm and fuzzy, and it's something to look forward to.
I can't wait to do it.
Wait.
That's it. That's it for the old morning cast. I hope you enjoyed, dear listener.
Mark, what?
Where can I find me online? I'm Matt O'Brien on Instagram. Also, tickets for my album taping at Dynasty Typewriter are live July 9th. I'm recording a new album here in Los Angeles. So if you happen to be in town or close or are planning a trip to Los Angeles, please make it around
It's going to be
9th.
such a good show. July 9th, Dynasty Typewriter. Your girl, that's me, Julie Ladkwitz, is hosting for you.
Super special guests. Johnny Pemberton from Fallout just confirmed.
Yep.
Trying to get some more.
Might get another big name on there.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very fun, very, very good. So tickets are available on dynastytypewriter.com. Also, I'm going to throw out the link in my bio and all my socials. Where can I find you online?
You can find me online, Julia Comedy on Instagram, Julia Comedy on OnlyFans. And I have a show tonight. I feel like this podcast is going to be up like right now.
Sure.
I have a show tonight at the Improv. I'm hosting the main room of the Improv. I'm pumped about that. And I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina next week, June 7th and 8th at Dead Crow.
Great club.
If you have friends out there, let them know, even if you don't live there. Matt's like, it's such a fun club, and I want you to come. I want to sell out this weekend because your girl needs money to pay for everything.
Yes.
Yay!
People need money for things. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Love you.
Is this what you want with Matt and Julia? Is this what you want with Matt and Julia? Is this what you want?